Well, let's move on now. The Eurozone has been confirmed as entering a technical recession after the region shrank by 0.1% in the first quarter of 2023, making this two consecutive quarters of contracting GDP. The slowdown comes after higher energy prices contributed to curbing demand in Europe's largest economy and surging inflation. Priyanshi Sharma is now joining us with more details. Priyanshi, the economic situation looks grim. Is this mainly on the back of the Ukraine war, is it?
That's right, Maha. The root cause is the Russia-Ukraine war that led to skyrocketing inflation in the Eurozone, and that is why we're seeing such a situation. But let's look at how bad is it currently. Well, the Eurozone has entered a technical recession. The Eurozone is in recession now as the gross domestic product, or the GDP of the Eurozone, contracted for 2 consecutive quarters. The Eurozone economy contracted 0.1% in the last 2 quarters. Back to back for 2 quarters, the Eurozone economy actually contracted by 0.1%, and that qualifies for a recession, because a recession technically is defined when 2 consecutive quarters face an economic contraction for any country or any zone. And Eurozone has met this requirement, as for 2 consecutive quarters the economy has contracted. Even though it has marginally contracted by 0.1%, it is still a repeated contraction for 2 consecutive quarters, meaning that the Eurozone has technically entered a recession. Now, how big is the problem? Well, the Eurozone consists of 20 countries that use the euro, and all these countries, the entire zone, is now in a technical recession. Now, Eurozone has been hit by high energy prices and also interest rates. Let's look at the reasons that are behind the Eurozone plunging to a recession. Eurozone inflation actually hit a record high of 10.7% in October 2022. The primary reasons behind the recession are high energy prices, skyrocketing inflation, and rising interest rates as well. So why did this really happen? What are the reasons for the Eurozone inflation skyrocketing? Well, it started rising after the Russia-Ukraine war. Eurozone energy inflation hit a record high of 44% in March 2022. 44%, that's extremely high. And why was this happening? Because Eurozone was extremely dependent on Russia for importing its oil and gas. Eurozone actually imported 40% of its gas and 27% of its oil from Russia. And that is why Eurozone's energy prices, oil prices and gas prices really shot up when Russia-Ukraine war started, and the supply of oil and gas from Russia was really restricted. So that's why prices of energy really shot up in Eurozone, and that really translates to prices of everyday essentials, because you need energy, you need gas and oil to transport everything. Now, which of the economies we're talking about? Major economies such as Germany, France, Spain and Italy are part of the Eurozone that has now fallen into a recession. But it's also important to note here that the broader European Union that has 27 countries, that includes 27 countries, has dodged a recession. The European Union economy actually grew 0.1% in the last quarter, while in the previous quarter it had contracted. So that has dodged the recession. But the subset of the European Union, which is the Eurozone of 20 countries, that has technically entered a recession, and this could impact the global economy at large as well. Maha.